creams.
I haven't seen him in a long time, actually.
Okay, coming brewery. Texas Brewing. Where's Texas Brewing? There.
Yeah, I think I have only like 60 followers.
Oh, there's Nathan.
What's up?
Oh, shit. I mean, hi!
Says the guy,
Hey!
says the guy drinking Modelo. You're tasty.
How are you?
I'm Chris.
So the last 30 seconds, do mics on, and then
Yeah, click this
video
in.
comes in, and then we just hit record, and then I just go back and forth with whoever's talking.
Yeah, and basically all you gotta do, it's real
Yeah.
simple. All you gotta do.
Right.
Who is this?
You know all that other stuff.
Is that me?
Must be. Yeah, that's the door. So, did you set that one up?
Yeah, that one needs to be set up differently. There's
Oh,
no.
that was you.
That's
Did you
me.
clear your bowels yet?
No, but yeah, I got lots of. I had.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing, man?
How's
Good to see you.
Meat, bread, and cheese.
How's the little ones doing?
They're good. They're good.
Still,
Hiring
both of
good.
them and everything?
Yeah, yeah.
Is it looking?
We're actually working towards, I think, in October they have a hearing that makes Gabriel adoptable, and they're going to pretty much force us to, but like by November sometime, in November, we're going to adopt him. And we actually got word the other day that they possibly have a waiver thing that we're hoping for, so that we can get under care. And in that case, then we have to wait till December for them to terminate rights, which would be good, and not have to wait as long on the other side of it to actually adopt him.
Do you know anybody there?
Yeah, things are going. They're going.
Hopefully, the state's looking out for the children. Not worried about them.
The last we heard, which was just this week, they said the mom.
You know what I screwed up?
That's the sister. And they said the mom right now is like in pretty bad shape. So using and whatever. She's definitely pregnant and whatnot. I was like, I can't take another one.
I screwed up. I screwed up and took it off the counter.
You guys are on now? Live?
Well, 10 minutes, 9 minutes. I haven't done this before. I get to do it tonight.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it since you made this.
I might go to Mexico City because it'll cost about
It should be fine. You can sit in.
Yeah, I figured he said you got a bunch of
Should have a.
Oh, I don't have to be on the mic or anything.
No, but the end mic should be open for us. I don't think he's changed anything. If you're on camera at all, do that one. I don't have to.
I would really prefer
What?
Chile would be awesome.
Chile is awesome.
Santiago?
Yeah, I was
Oh,
in
yeah.
Santiago, and that place is great because I like to walk out the door and just
Put your camera
you can do that.
Yeah,
too.
and down there,
What?
it's like,
Put a camera on you.
Yeah,
you only need like $500.
You want to, it's fine. I'll just turn it on all the time. I'll leave it on me. Fuck y'all.
I would do it.
They took my chair.
If you want to talk shit, you have to be on the mic, man.
Oh, I bet you can talk shit from off the mic.
Just don't hear it as well.
I'm willing to place a $50 bet on that.
Will you pick my name? How are you?
How you doing there?
Tired? Oh, we've got a timer going.
So,
Audio live on.
can we hear the stories?
Oh no, what happens is I know what stage I know your adventures. Yeah, let's not talk about that. Will and Brenda's will coach your time. Cookies and little blades and ways. Will and Brandon. We're in the Netherlands, but I know there's well, hey, there's a coffee shop down there. I said, "Oh, do you want coffee?" He said, "No, Dad, coffee shop."
It's their story tonight.
Okay.
I would probably pretty much guess that.
Why? That's special
Is
guys.
this anything like Wolf?
Dude, we had to go all the way to Munich, Germany. To smell a fart, in order to the one at the bowl and out of the
And it was 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning at a donor stand.
They were sitting there,
Kind of hung over too. Tell us about.
I mean, it was a
Perfect timing.
reflex. It was fast. Oh my God. I thought I was gonna vomit, dude.
Was that after we, was that was what morning was that? Was that before Saturday morning? Was that Saturday before we went to October? No, it was Friday. Friday morning. We were functioning too well the morning of October. We went out and drank, that was August beer color night. Do it next year.
I'd love to.
The boss, like, yeah. We're gonna spend most of the week in Prague.
I'm definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
We got this,
Whiskey Barrel. Liar. Exactly.
No, that's their.
And they call it Oktoberfest? Who wants to take water?
They're not, it's,
It says Oktoberfest. Oh, maybe they can say it over here, but they can't say it over there.
they're not,
They're not near it. Don't know, it's just to get it called Oktoberfest.
So Martin. Martin. Martin.
I'm sure it's US.
Is it in English? Yeah, so. Let's drink on there. That's cold. That's cold. I hate these headphones. These suck. Oh, we have free headphones? Oh, yeah, we had to put the headphones down.
Probably had enough for all of that. No, those are normally in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got my good ones.
Weird. Oh,
These things are out.
Yeah.
You're not lighted though.
man, I don't like this mic.
Just what I wanted. It's breathing in my ear.
It's not right.
Usually it's
Headphones don't sound right. I'll have sorts.
He's in your spot. How is he in your spot?
Fruits are shitting in my spot. Move in my spot. Moving in my left spot.
Are you gonna go watch the key? Are you gonna watch the key? Okay, so we can get questions. You can move different.
Yeah, where is that opener?
I have one on my key. So.
Have them turn them up, dude.
Well, you're really loud, but this is like I'm used to sitting there.
Everybody keep their.
My special Eddie.
Which one?
Five.
Mic number 4. They're labeled correctly.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, you still
The
have,
King of Torches, not make them.
hey Fritz,
Oh, no, that's a headphones.
you still have,
one?
This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, I
Wait a
see.
minute, I bet
Okay.
you that's him.
Hey, check it, Mikey.
Yes,
Is that better?
better. Was it? Is this for your personal?
Better?
Better, much better, yes.
Which one is this?
I think that's the last one. 7.
7 or 8. Test. Oh, that's pretty much all I have. Test. Oh, that's okay. 1 minute and 11.
They don't even have freaking Oktoberfest anymore, it's fest beer. You go Cabernet, this,
You said 30 seconds, right? And we're live.
I don't know. I feel so out of practice.
And we don't have our,
Oh, shit.
as usual, it goes to its normal weirdness.
6, 5.
Oh my goodness. I haven't read this opening. It's so
palpable.
long.
That's really fancy.
Welcome back to Come and Brew It Radio, coming to you from Texas Brewing Inc. in Haltom City, Texas. You can find us on the web at txbrewing.com and be sure to follow us on Facebook and share with all your friends.
In this episode, Stubby is back from his 2-week trip to Belgium and Germany, full of beer adventures and attending the largest beverage-related conference in the world, DrinkTec. He went with Fritz and Wil Rahr, and they spent the bulk of their trip hitting up well-established breweries in the cities that were the source of some of the world's favorite styles. So he'll tell us about what they were up to and how the DrinkTec conference was, and then we'll dive into a discussion of some of those styles based on the beers he brought back from Europe for sampling. But we especially want to discuss the Dusseldorf Altbier style as he visited the city with sampling the real thing in mind while he was there. It doesn't sit in a category of its own anymore, which is unfortunate, but it does still stand apart from its northern German counterpart that could also qualify as an amber ale.
But I didn't know I was supposed to say anything tonight. But before we get started, please sure to check out the Patreon account to help support the show. Every little bit counts, and if you visit patreon.com/Come and Brew It Radio, we have a variety of options for you to help keep the show going. Get involved and improve it. Plus, we'd like to thank James Castellano, I guess is how you would say it, for becoming a patron. I'm Stubby.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Mikey B.
Who are you?
I'm Fritz.
Y'all are aware we're doing a show here, right?
Yeah, I know, right? So we're without a producer tonight. So, we got Greg back here trying to roll all the stuff for the first time ever. So we're going to let him do some experimenting, and we're probably going to fail a whole lot since we've been really rusty and everybody's been all over the damn world. So
Yeah, it feels like it's been a long time.
it has. It's been almost
Yeah.
3 weeks, or it's been 3 weeks since the last time we've done one, right? So, yeah, so we're a little rusty, and
Definitely.
so
It's all right. Pour a little more of this German beer. We'll take the sharp edges off this thing.
yeah, I think so. But I haven't drank some of that in a few days. I'm just saying. So, anyway, I know we had a lot of you guys were going on different stuff, so I'd probably like to start with where you guys all went before we kind of get into this whole
Get to the lame
The
stories.
Euro-
before we get to the good stories.
the Euroromp, I guess is how someone phrased it. I thought that was kind of
The
odd.
Euroromp.
I
That
like
sounds
Or drink
vaguely
Yeah,
Erotic?
Euroromp.
sexual. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I
We
said.
were romping, you know what you do when you're in Europe, you romp.
These two together, definitely.
We had a romper song.
Oh, there
They
you
did wear
go. There you
rompers.
go.
Yeah, we kind of did in a way. We had those leader hose and things on, you know, so those are kind of a romper, I guess, with suspenders. But anyway, I digress.
So I was up in Grand Rapids, Michigan for a sales meeting recently, and I remember when the NHC was there, you came back and you were saying, man, that is a part of the country that's beer scene is unappreciated. It's just fantastic up there.
Mm-hmm.
You were not kidding. What a fantastic place Grand Rapids is. And I told my wife, I said, we're coming back here on vacation for one summer or something like that.
Yeah, and really, what's really cool about the place is, you know, when they originally announced that they was going to be there at Grand Rapids, I was like, oh, great. You know, Midwest, I'm thinking Detroit, you know, industrial. And I mean, really, it's super clean. It's beautiful little town.
You know, I knew those lakes were big, but those lakes are big. But they're like an ocean, and it's like the beach out there, white sand beaches and everything, just gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Really a cool town. And I only went to a few breweries, but you know, on the way to those, you're driving by 5 others. There is just a ton of great beer up there. And I really, really enjoyed it. So I brought back some from Brew Vivant, which was one I remember y'all telling me about.
Oh,
it's a
man,
little
that's
brewery
a
that
cool
they
place.
built in a church up there, and they do a lot of Belgian styles. They did a little bit of everything, actually. They did some...
And here's the thing. I think it wasn't a church. It was actually a mortuary. And,
no, you're right. You're right. It was a mortuary. That's right.
Yeah. So... Anyway,
Nice.
but yeah,
or actually,
cool
you know
place.
what? It was both. That now I remember. The waitress was telling us
It was the
one side of
chapel.
it was the church, and they bought the mortuary that was next door too. And they made them into one thing. Is what it was. Yeah,
But it's
Nice.
kind of cool. You know, you go up to the altar to drink beer.
yeah, and really great selection. The beer was fantastic. I could have just stayed there all day.
And they're all kind of like funky lambic type
well,
sour
they had
beers.
you know, like I've got a barrel aged stout that I
Oh,
brought
really?
with me. They had some
Last
regular
time I was there,
stuff
it was
too.
pretty much all sour.
I bet they had 20 or 25 different beers on the menu.
Wow.
It was a lot. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Really,
That's
really
crazy.
good. And then, you know, we did New Holland, and New Holland has a brew pub that's in Grand Rapids that they opened
Okay.
up. The food was fantastic there. They make their own sausage in house, and great beer there.
I like the
obviously.
sausage.
What was really interesting there was they had 2 New England IPAs, and so since it's always a topic of discussion here, I tried both of them, and they were both completely different. One of them was exactly what you would expect, kind of that orange juicy looking, real opaque kind
Right.
of thing. And the other one was actually clear. And what was New England about it was just the way they hopped it. You know, it was 7.5%.
Well, you know, that's where I go to get my New England IPAs is the Midwest.
Right. well,
Absolutely. Yeah,
they're brewing them in Bedford, Texas. I mean,
Yeah, well, that's true.
that's true.
but I thought they were both really good. But I thought it was interesting that they had 2 of them that they called New England, and they bore no similarity to each other at all. One of them didn't look anything like you would expect, so it really was just more along the lines of the way they hopped it. You know, 7.5% IPA. It was only 35 IBU, and just a ton of hop flavor
Solid
to it. It
late
was really
hopping.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Very cool.
Did you not drink Dragon's Milk?
I didn't drink Dragon's Milk. No, we went to Founders, but I can get that here. I got a couple things there. They had a barrel-aged IPA. It was a blend of 3 IPAs that they aged in barrels that was out of this world.
Really?
Really, really good. I'm normally not a fan of barrel-aged IPAs, but
Was it just oak aged or was it like actually whiskey barrel?
it said barrel-aged. I didn't get
Any
it
bourbon?
might have just been wood. I don't know, but I really didn't get much bourbon flavor out of it. But you know, the hop character was
I'm
really
just
toned down
disappointed.
on
I
it.
thought you were a better judge of wood character.
Well, you know, at this particular wood, I didn't pay a lot of attention to. So the wood came and it went. And,
oh man!
that happens sometimes.
You just lost that wood.
right.
Yeah.
Just lost it.
Oh my god!
Then it became soft.
Yeah.
Right. So, long story short, if you ever have a chance to get up to Grand Rapids, I highly recommend it. I will definitely be going back. What a great city it was, and just a ton of great beer there.
And Mikey.
Yes.
All right, so he's like a U2 groupie
Yeah.
and follows people around and like organizes things and all kind of stuff. What do you
Yeah.
do, Mikey?
Well, I organized the GA line up there in Kansas City.
You have to say
Last
what
week.
GA is because you
General
keep putting
admission.
that on
The-
Facebook, like people know.
Well, all my friends know. So yeah,
I'm not your friend.
they sell the whole floor of the concert's all general admission, so it's kind of first come first serve, and the fan club kind of runs a line to assign numbers to everybody. So it's people that can put in the time 2 or 3 days to hang out, get a really good spot on the
People
floor.
with no kids.
Yeah, pretty much. So I drove up to Kansas City and did that, and I actually didn't get to break away and go to any of the brew areas, but I'm going back in December. So I'm going to go spend a day up there. Just, I found a couple places where there's 2 or 3 breweries within walking distance. But I did bring back a lot of beer that I'll bring next week.
I like that area up there. I go up there once
Yeah.
or twice a year for work.
It's a
and
nice
I've always
area.
liked it, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yay.
lots of Midwest beers to bring back.
So that's it?
I'm
Nothing
weaving-
more
weaving
fancy than that?
around.
I mean, come on. Really?
Really, I knew you were going to gloat, but not this much, not this early.
Was it you that scolded me for not knowing how to use social media properly?
Social media?
No, I did make a joke when you asked about what the subject of tonight's show was going to be, and I said it was about oversharing on Facebook. That was just a joke. I enjoyed all your videos and stuff.
Okay. Well, because some other people told me they unfollowed me because all the posts that we were making.
No, I liked them, man. You had some good stuff in there.
So anyway, I think the fun thing is Fritz and I did this. I guess in November
Last year.
and went to it was Brew, which is they have it every 3 years or for 3 years, and then every 4th year they have DrinkTec in Munich, which is in it's a little different than what we've went to in the past, and it's more brew centric, I guess you would say, at Nuremberg.
At Brew, yeah.
Yeah, and so when we went this year, it was a little different experience. It's huge. I mean, it's massive, and
But I also thought that with all the beer stuff that was there, it was really geared towards like
Big,
ABI
big,
companies.
yeah,
just
big
huge
breweries.
companies.
Oh, really?
yeah, I mean, we're probably getting ahead of ourselves for what all we did, but I mean, some of these canning lines. I mean, they had
Well, they had 150 head canning machine.
Oh my God!
Running.
running at
running
the
at
same.
the
Wow.
And I mean, that by itself is pretty amazing feat that they put all this crap in these buildings and then run power to it and have it actually operating in these facilities. It's
I
pretty
do that.
absolutely amazing.
There's woodworking shows I do where they do big, large automated machinery and that kind of thing, and they show up a week and a half ahead of time to set that stuff up.
You said
2-story
they
observation decks. And
Still
all kinds
have
of stuff.
whole brew systems up and running, right?
Well, they don't have them running, but they have them all set up in there. So I mean, that's a big thing to.
But they've got
really set up.
got power to it, so the mash rakes are going around, and
That's
Right.
where Collective
are
got
off
theirs at a convention. They bought the floor model.
Yeah.
Yeah, got a discount on it.
That's right. So anyway, when we kind of planned this trip, I'd never been to Belgium before, so when we were looking at flying, and the conference is actually in Munich, so Fritz and I decided that we wanted to go to Belgium. So
well, it also kind of helped out that the cheap airfare that we got
Oh,
flew
yeah.
into Brussels.
it was absolutely a
and
bargain.
we took my oldest son, and his favorite styles of beers are Belgians and sours and things like that. So it was a great opportunity to kind of landed the area that he was really excited about, and I had never traveled through it. I don't think Brendan had either.
Mm-mm.
So we spent the first literally 3.5-4 days just cruising around Belgium and southern Netherlands. So
It was awesome. So we originally flew into it's kind of a crazy thing. So we got to Brussels at what 8:30?
8:30.
Yeah, after
the
20
morning?
something. Yeah.
Yeah, I did that one in Germany too. It's way too early to do anything.
Yeah, so you
can't
can't
get into
check in
your
your
hotel.
hotel. And I mean, we're dragging ass.
So what do we do?
We go to the Delirium Cafe, and drink Delirium and Nocturnum and
God knows what else.
lots of other
Tremens?
stuff. Tremens and
Tremens is one of my favorites.
3 hours later, we stumbled out looking for food,
yeah,
realizing after we eat, we can actually go back to the hotel and take a
yeah.
nap.
So we took a 4-hour nap and then went back to Delirium.
Isn't that the cardinal rule? Don't sleep during the first day. You got to keep yourself up so you get on their
You know
time.
what? We didn't. I don't think we had that much of a problem at all.
No, we
I
didn't.
think because it was an overnight flight, so I didn't sleep hardly any. But man, by the time we got to take a nap, man, I'm sitting there drinking a beer and I'm passing out. I'm so sleepy. But we took a 4-hour nap and then got up and man, that place that Delirium Cafe that we went to there, man, it was pumping when we came back.
Yeah.
I mean, there was nobody in it when we were there.
Oh,
in
the
morning.
alleyway too. The alleyway was elbows to you know what. So.
Yeah, it was insane.
So
It was like
this place was open at 9:00 in the morning.
It was 10:30.
10:30, yeah.
10:30. Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they probably had how many taps? Maybe 60, 80 taps.
Yeah, it's probably that
and
many.
it's too bad. I tried to download some video off my camera, but it decided to crap out on me. I was going to show how they had their tap set up. It was kind of strange. So they came out of the ceiling.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
And they got those great big long European taps, and it was really strange because on the far side of the bar you could actually see all the kegs. I mean, the kegs are just sitting outside. There's not
They're not
inside
cold?
of a cooler or
They're
anything.
They're not in the cooler.
So I don't.
So they're cooling it in the lines then.
Right.
The only
Like a
thing, that's the
jockey
only way
box
I can
kinda?
think of is
Seems like it would be hard to keep it carbonated correctly. If it
I
was
don't know,
room
but
temperature
it
like that.
maybe it was coming through some sort of cool plate or cold plate on the way over. I don't know, but it's really crazy. And one of the things that I thought was really interesting about Belgium, and it's so different than the United States, and I think this is something that we could really learn from the Belgians, is that every single beer that you get in Belgium is served in the proper glass and brewery specific. So if you get a triple Carmelite, it comes in a triple Carmelite glass. Or if it comes in, if you get a Delirium, Tremens, it comes in a Delirium Tremens glass. I mean, everything comes in the proper glass, and you don't get no shaker pints over there. Imagine that.
That must be great. I've been in bars where they try to do that, where they try to serve everything in the appropriate glass or whatever, and most of the time it seems like
yeah, Americans steal them.
Well, it seems to me too like a lot of the bartenders just don't know.
Or don't-
They
or
try,
don't.
but they still give you the you get a barrel aged imperial stout in a pint glass.
Well, I don't think they care, or they're so busy, they're slammed that they just don't care. It's a beer. Here's a glass. Go drink it.
The worst thing I ever got, and I thought this was hilarious. I got, guys, you guys know Lakewood Temptress. What is that? It's imperial milk stout. And It's 10 or 11, 12%.
It's 9 or 10. Yeah.
And I was at Bottle Cap Alley, and they served it in a schooner.
Was it frozen?
No. I don't know. I can't
Wow.
remember about that.
I hate
but
schooners.
a 16-ounce schooner of, Temptress.
I've had a schooner of Goose Island, Bourbon County before.
Yeah, actually, that was when we went to we were at what was that?
Was
Well,
that
pizza
Vegas?
place?
I don't want to name places, but yeah.
Yeah, it was a pizza place, man, over there off of Bluebonnet Circle.
Oh yeah, over on Berry.
And they had a tap. They had the tap, and
They
it
had the
said
wrong
Goose
tap.
Island. It has Goose Island IPA, and they're pouring it. I was like, man, that's not IPA. She goes, yeah, sure it is. I was like, okay. And we're drinking. I'm like, holy shit, dude! I think this is Bourbon County, and they're serving it.
18-ounce schooner.
in schooners.
It's one of those mixed feeling things. Like you're mad, but you're also like, wow, this is a great pour.
Well, and the thing is we weren't trying to be, bad about it. I mean, weren't trying to pull one over on them. I mean, we were actually saying, hey, this isn't the right beer. And they're like, no, it's the right beer. We promise. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Didn't we get full pints of Dragon's Milk
Yes.
over that one
In
night?
Dallas, yeah.
Yeah, when we saw
Yeah, that was
White Snake that night.
that was the last thing I remember.
Yeah.
I actually always enjoy when I get a full pints of Belgian triples.
Yeah. I remember that.
I don't.
So, was it pretty crazy in terms of people openly being drunk and stumbling around and being rowdy, that kind of thing?
It was really interesting. Brendan and I made a quick realization that it's okay to puke over there
Yeah.
Really?
in public. It's just like you drink too much, you go to the restroom,
You throw up.
you throw up, you go back to the table, you start drinking again. I mean, we
Personal experience
we
or
could,
observation?
No, observation. We're sitting there in some really nice like Augustiner beer cellar at the brewery and other places, and people are just getting hammered drinking, and they go into the restroom and they just
Throw up in the urinal.
throw up in the urinal or wherever, and they have the little people in there that clean up the place. So they just keep they just clean up.
God.
They leave and they go back to the table and
Yeah.
they start drinking again. It's just really odd.
So
was-
if ever you're unhappy about how your life is going, just think your job could be cleaning puke out of urinals all night long, over and over again.
So
in
the
some
first
bar in
night, the
Europe.
first night that we were in Brussels, we went to a few different places, but we're sitting there and they have doner kebabs is what they call them over there, and it's kind of like
A hero.
It's like a hero, yeah. And So anyway, we're sitting there, and there's some dude out there on the street eating, and all his buddies are laughing at him. And he's just in convulsions, you know, and just he just vomits all over the place. And then the guy goes out there. These two little guys walk out there with their buckets and wash the concrete down. You know,
It's like they had the big buckets of water waiting
already. Yeah,
it happens nightly.
That's crazy.
And passerbys wouldn't even stop and look. They just kind of walked. It was like a daily occurrence. Just no big deal.
you just stepped right over the
They
vomit.
just don't
you
grow
know?
out of it over there, I guess.
I guess.
huh? It's-
Well, I guess when you're drinking 9-10% alcohol beers, you know, it doesn't take much. You know, I mean, it's
it also doesn't take too long to learn. I probably should stop now.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I haven't learned. I'm how old? Anyway, no, it was really interesting. I enjoyed Brussels. It was different.
We went to Cantillon the first morning.
Yeah, the Cantillon. So Cantillon was interesting.
Interesting, but a little disappointing to me. I guess
Really?
I was expecting so much more. You know, everyone talks about, you got a bottle of Cantillon,
Cantillon,
blah, blah, blah,
yeah.
blah, blah.
It's just like a
It's
little
like-
farmhouse or something
It's
like that. isn't it?
it's like in a
It's like a
building
little
on the side
building.
of the street, and I guess they brew only October through February.
Yeah, or
And
October
the rest
through
of the
December,
time-
I think.
October through December, and the rest of the time they just
Cellar stuff.
sell their stuff and just doing tours and stuff. It's really small, very, very tiny.
Yeah, very tiny.
I guess I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting.
Well, I thought it was pretty cool in the fact that, and you know,
Is
you
that
might.
their-
Do you have
is
some
that their
pictures
new
of the
location, or-
oh yeah, so like here's the mash tun. If you look at this mash tun, dude, it's like 100 years old. It's,
Wow.
but it's got like all these weird rakes and stuff, and everything is drawn by like big bands, big leather bands and stuff.
Oh, uh-huh.
And I mean, it's really still primitive. I mean, all of their stuff. And
That
and-
mash tun looks like it's sectional. It's not even one piece.
Yeah, well, it's got like this big. It had like a big, almost like an umbrella that you pull down on top of it, I guess, while they're doing the mash to kind of keep the heat in or
Keep the heat
something.
in,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then they had. I mean, everything was run by these big pulleys and big leather bands, and it was pretty
Rats in
interesting. Yeah.
cages.
I don't know. For all I know, that was just the show that they gave us.
Yeah,
And
maybe.
in the back room
And
they've
that-
got a brand new Steinecker system. That
They
Uh,
have a
it-
grandfather.
And then
Yeah,
they
Grandfather.
had grandfather in the back.
All right. What's the time on that? How long did it take for grandfather to come up?
yeah. So anyway, they also have, which I found interesting. I would have expected in a big sour facility like that a lot of fooders and stuff like that. None.
I didn't see one.
No, they
Was
just use barrels. I think.
barrels. And I mean, really, it's a really small operation. I mean, it's probably how many people do you think work that thing? Maybe 6 people,
At most, I mean,
and then 3 of them are doing the tours.
I think the majority of the people are on the tours, and
Yeah.
I think there's just probably one brewer.
Yeah, and I mean, they got one little bottling machine. It's a really tiny place. I was actually
Well, it's really
actually
cool.
shocked.
Is the bottles were stacked.
Yeah, that
Up
was
against-
really
in
cool.
between concrete pillars in like their,
Yeah,
I don't want to call them caves or just long, kind of weird looking hallways, but they had bottles stacked up against the wall. But
they
just,
had like
they were like,
bookends.
but
you
they were
know?
perfect. They weren't like stacked.
Do I have a picture of that?
Like every other one, they were like bottles were stacked right on
No.
top of each
Okay.
other.
Oh, okay.
And there was
Laying down?
Yeah, laying on the
down.
side.
Huh.
They kind of like intertwine them.
I feel like we should be drinking some Cantillon while we talk about that.
Well, maybe somebody can get us one. I don't know. But no, we got some Cantillon in there. We can pop open
I
and
saw
try.
a bottle cap. with
Yeah,
the
but
dude
you know
on
what? They've got corks in them, and I don't think I have a corkscrew down here, so maybe we'll have to wait till the second half.
it. Okay.
But anyway,
Oh, bitch.
I know.
and then we went and got into a traffic jam
Yeah,
at an intersection.
dude. Let me tell you something. So, I thought idiots in the United States don't know how to do a 4-way stop. Holy shit! I mean, this was a cluster F. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I mean,
this one woman did stop. She just happened to stop her car right in the middle of the intersection, so nobody else could go.
yeah. And I thought Fritz was gonna lose it.
Hey, I only almost killed us a few times.
Yeah, only a few times. Boy, we'll get into that. But no. So anyway, from that point, we actually we drove out of Brussels.
We drove towards West Mall.
Yeah, so we went to West Mall.
They were close.
So Yeah. Well, the abbeys. So here's what's really strange, and I didn't realize this until we got over there. Really, you don't go into the monasteries. They're pretty much closed. They don't allow you to go in there.
Oh, really?
And as a matter of fact, some of them don't even have like tap rooms or anything. I mean, they don't. That would be the Trappist.
Yeah,
the Trappist beers, but
Westmall had their restaurant. Oh my, really nice.
yeah, it's a nice
really
restaurant.
Nice restaurant.
And Westmall makes a double and a triple, and that's it.
So we got there from around lunchtime, and we drank some beer, bought some cheese.
Yes,
That was another fun thing. All these abbeys, they all made their own cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet it was awesome
Oh,
too.
yeah.
As a matter of fact, Greg, you want to grab us those triples? Maybe we can drink those.
Yeah.
So this is one of my favorite beers. I love Westmall Triple. I think it's one of the best. And you know what? I think it tastes just as it was amazing there. So I really enjoyed it.
Man,
Did
I just
you
got
like
my
the
Uber
double though,
rating
too,
back
right?
up too. Now we're gonna drink triple.
I think I had the triple and then I had the double.
Yeah.
I like the triple much better.
Yeah, the triple
Triple's
was
so good.
fantastic. Just creamy and good stuff. So what we did here is I actually asked Greg to stop and pick up a Westmall Triple that was here.
Oh,
and
so we can do a side by
So
side.
we're going to be able to taste the one we brought back from Belgium versus what you can get here. We can compare them and contrast them and taste taste them a little bit. So this is actually a picture, which I was I thought it was kind of funny because I don't ever remember Westmall being cloudy.
I was just gonna say that's the first thing I thought when I looked at that.
But anyway, so this is
Maybe
this
they
is
said
the
it's
one,
American. Serve them the cloudy.
This
triple.
is the one from.
That's German. This is the local.
This is from Belgium. This is from local. Okay, so you want to try the? Let's try the
Try the local first.
local first and see if we can pick up any oxidation or anything like that, and then we try it against the other one. You know what though? Look at here. That's cloudy as all get out. So
Yeah, it is. Now the one you brought back
it's
looks
not
clear.
as yeah. That's
I don't know,
strange.
we'll see. We'll be able to tell better once we pour it.
Okay, so glasses.
By the way, what am I drinking here?
That's our Czech fills.
Yeah, it's a Czech pills that we make.
From here, man,
Yeah.
it's really good.
Yeah. That's going to be a new kit.
That's outstanding.
All right, so let's pour some of these up. Okay, but absolutely beautiful area. I mean, and one of the things that I thought was really fun about going to these little abbeys or Trappist breweries is most of them are in the middle of freaking nowhere. I mean,
See, I thought I had heard that Cantillon was kind of off the beaten path, too.
It's
That's why I
right-
was wondering
right-
if that was their
right
newer.
smack dab,
Right across
in
the street from the school. And
Huh.
Yeah, and here's a tip for you travelers: if you ever decide to go to Cantillon,
Don't drive
take a
there.
cab.
Don't drive there.
Nowhere to park.
No,
There's
no
nowhere
place
to park, and it is a cluster F. As far as traffic is concerned over there, it's just insane. So, Greg, you want some of this too, bud?
No, Greg's not drinking beer.
Greg doesn't drink. Yeah.
Man, that's the second time tonight I've gotten the finger. Third.
Yeah. So, I would highly recommend. I mean, even if you're just traveling around, Westmall is kind of a neat place to stop. I mean, they were completely closed. Now, if you decide you want to just tour these areas, I would highly recommend to look them up in advance. A lot of them are closed in different times, but some of them do offer tours of the brewery, but you really almost have to make a reservation. So,
I got Nate one, yeah.
you got one? Okay.
Great. Yeah.
So I would.
This is local or
This is local.
This tastes great.
Oh, you didn't get one? Sorry, Fritz, you don't get any. You had the real deal.
did he earn one?
Yes.
Hey,
you
wait
did.
a second. I spent 10 days in Europe with this guy.
Yeah.
So he gets
I
the rest
earned
of the
it.
bottle?
I earned it.
Do you need a sippy cup for that?
Don't make me come over there.
I gotta say, other hosts that have sparred with Fritz in the show has not gone so well for him.
I'm not sparring. I'm having fun.
That tastes pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Excellent, yeah.
Yeah. So now we're going to taste the other one. We're
So
going.
who was that?
Man, this was not as good.
Was that?
That was
And
Jared.
I'm going to
Was
be
that
pissed
Jared? That's what I
because
was thinking.
these things are heavy, man. So they load your luggage down in a
Oh
hurry.
yeah.
Big punted bottle, and
It's got a dimple.
See, that's so good.
84 euros later.
Yeah.
So you,
I think
you
it
had
was- I
said
think
you
it
were
was
going to
a-
try and ship some back. You didn't end up doing
No,
we
we
were.
didn't.
It was. Man, I mean, we were on a mission, and it was.
We were go.
balls to the walls the whole time, and part of me is like, oh, I wish we'd have spent some more time here, but at the same time, it's like you're never in that area, and you only got 4 days. You want to hit as many as you can, and go to as many different places as you can.
See,
so.
I'm different. I want to stay in one place for a long time. I like it.
But here's one of the things that I think is cool about doing what we did is it's just boom, 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 boom. Is now if I ever go back, I'll know what I want to spend more
That's
time.
a good point. Yeah.
So, but
I go into it with the attitude that I may never get back here. So I want to
that's
stay
true
in this one
too.
place for a
That's
while.
true too. I totally get that. You
Right,
got some
so
cups
the,
here?
That's why
this is the local stuff, right?
it's like hard for me
No,
to
this
plan
this one's
trips like
actually
that.
the one
Yeah,
from.
local from Westmall.
Yeah, this one is from Westmall. So we're gonna try them side by side.
I should have brought my cheese.
Yeah, you should have. We had some Westmall
I thought
cheese.
you were about
So-
to say that.
Now,
earlier.
have you had the
God,
Chimay cheese?
I haven't had the Chimay cheese,
I
but I
thought it
did
was-
buy cheese at almost every Abbey that we stopped
I thought the
at.
Chimay cheese was
Yeah.
gross, but that could
Really?
be the fact that it's just
No, the
over
Westmall
here
cheese.
now. And
The Westmall cheese I thought was good. It kind of tastes about all the same as all the other cheese
Right.
in that area.
Is it
I mean,
goat,
I'd
is it goat
go-
cheese or?
No, it was just I got a
Little shard.
a
I mean, it's
2-year aged cheddar, a 5-year, and an 8-year.
Oh, nice.
The 8-year was really good. It was quite hard, almost like a hard, well, not a hard Parmesan, but more like a soft hard Parmesan.
okay,
Does that make any sense?
yeah.
Funny thing about aging cheese, you have to leave that to the experts. I've tried aging cheese for a couple of years before, and it didn't go so well.
Yeah.
So,
No,
like
they
aging
they
wood.
were all wonderful.
Aging wood.
all right.
All right, what do you
Okay.
got?
I'd
so-
definitely like to try some
Some wood.
cheese.
Okay.
He's already tried that.
No,
What was really,
I'm not
really
Jared.
also interesting in Belgium was the number of just general public drinking beer. Like nobody drank whiskey or vodka or anything. And it was just kind of funny seeing
about
these
bourbon?
little petite women sitting down with these goblets of
completely different.
10% alcohol beer, throwing them back like they're nothing.
Throwing up in the street.
throwing up in the urinal.
Now, I think the phenols, the spiciness from the yeast
is
is
a lot.
way more pronounced than the one you brought back.
Yeah.
It's like dropped
Holy
out of the one.
crap!
Yeah, it's totally
It's almost
different.
spicy and almost maybe a little. You get a little hop character too.
Yeah, I agree.
All right,
These are two
One's
different
really
beers.
cold and one's kind of warm. So
It's like two different beers.
well, they are two different beers. They were in two different bottles. Mikey.
No, but also I would say that the alcohol may be a little more hot in the fresher one
Yeah,
than
Yeah,
what than
no,
what
I
in
agree
the,
with you. I didn't notice that before.
everything's more
Point out.
pronounced. Every single thing is
Yeah.
more pronounced.
What do they taste like together?
Yeah, I don't want to mess it up.
There we go.
You got to taste them together.
I'm just
can't do
trying to save the glass.
No, but I can't say I like one over the other really.
Oh, I like the
I
one.
like
you
the
brought
fresh
back
one.
a
The
lot
one
better.
fresher?
Absolutely, yeah.
Carbonation stands
Yeah.
out in the one you brought back too.
Yeah,
I really like the spicy phenol character out
Yeah.
of it, and so when that's a little more pronounced, and I think you're right. I think there's some hops in there too, that kind of blended in with that. I think it tastes much better.
yeah. And what's funny too is it seems like the head retention's a little better.
Hey, wait
Yeah.
a
Oh,
second.
You're right.
definitely.
I think you have the bottles mixed up. That one has a TABC label on it. I'm joking.
I was gonna say
Stranger things have happened.
Sorry, Nate's not on camera tonight.
Who's that?
Nice.
That was nice.
That was Mikey.
Yeah, but those beers do
Oh,
kind of
look,
make you
Facebook
belch just a
Live
little
just
bit.
dropped down to 3 people.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, I got four. I got four on mine.
Yeah, but one of them's you. And the other one's me.
The other one's my friend Tracy. So I mean,
All right.
there's
But
your
it-
shout out, Tracy.
So anyway, from West Mall, we just kind of stopped, had lunch, drank that, and then
We jetted up to
Eindhoven.
You drank lunch?
No, we went to La Trappe.
Well, we went up. We
Drank
crossed
lunch.
over the border into the
Netherlands.
and we went to La Trappe. And this place was cool. This place is really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. We got there kind of late, so it was kind of towards
We
the
had
end of the day.
we had about 40 minutes to grab some beer and drink them, and we did that. And then we kind of decided.
Now, this
to
is the
make a plan.
Netherlands, you said?
Yeah, it's in the Netherlands.
Okay.
The Trap is actually a Trappist brewery. So
It
I think that's-
was the only one out of Belgium.
at one time.
Until we got ours.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, hey, quick question,
Spencer.
Fritz.
Yeah.
How did Will like it since this is Will's?
Will was digging it, but he was trying to go. When are we gonna get some sours? When are we gonna get some sours? I love these Belgian beers too, but you know,
didn't get
so-
any at Cantillon?
Yeah, he
Oh,
did.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he
Okay.
did. He did.
Man, I got to tell you.
But yeah, he really enjoyed it. It was really fun to be there with him. You know,
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I would have had Hayden with me as well, but when we had kind of first planned this trip, he was the actual plan. He was supposed to be back in Arkansas going to school, so that didn't happen. So next year, I think I'll take him along. on the
And you
trip
know,
as well.
the fun thing was he did have a couple sours, I think, that first day. I mean,
he did.
yeah,
He did
told-
at Delirium Cafe.
and he was like, "Oh my God, this is my favorite beer ever." And we were supposed to find it, and we never did to bring it back home. But but one of the things that I thought it was really cool that when we did go to the Le Trap and went up into the Netherlands, it was really neat because it's like it's so amazing. In Europe, you can go 50 miles and people speak a different language, and you're in a different country.
and act completely different towards you.
Yeah, that's true.
Were the Belgians pretty friendly?
No.
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 No. And you know, we have such a small sample size of the time that we were there in Brussels, but yeah, they were kind of, I don't know,
They weren't overly friendly. They weren't overly rude.
I'm so used to being in Germany and having everyone so polite and
Yeah,
so
I was going to
happy
say
and
everybody in Germany was so friendly when
it's
we
just
were there.
yeah. They're
Well,
just,
so for example, that's a point that we can get to in a little bit when we went to like Le Chouf. But so for example, when you're in Germany, if you sit at a table, you know,
if there's room,
if there's room, they're going to shove other people in there with you at the same table,
and
right?
you're going to be forced to converse with a lot of strangers, which
Right.
makes it so much more fun.
It
I
does
would,
kind of
I would love that, yeah.
And we're jumping ahead here, but we did go to Le Chouf, and they were like, "Do you have reservations?"
No.
And we're like, "No."
And there's like tables,
And there's like
chairs
a
everywhere.
6 or 8 top, and there's
Two
a male,
people.
female sitting at this table all by themselves. And I was like, "Well, we'll just go over and sit there."
No.
And they looked at me like,
No, you won't.
Are you kidding? We don't do that here."
Hey, listen, I'm from a little place called America.
It just would have been, you know, it wouldn't have we would have been cramping their style. We would have been
We would've
completely
had
at
a
the
couple
other end of the table.
yeah.
We would have been 4 feet spread between, you know, any of us. And so she goes, "Well, you can sit around the fireplace if you're not eating." So we went and we drank our beer, and we're like, "Oh, Shoof happens."
Do I have reservations?
Yeah.
You ever heard of a little thing called WW2?
Oh, yeah.
But back to the Netherlands. After we left Le Trap, we always kind of go, okay, where were you going to stay tonight? Because we didn't have anything set where we were going to be spending the night.
Permanent reservation.
Uh-oh, it's
anyway.
happening.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah.
Fritz.
You
So
can
anyways-
bring out one triple and it's all done.
So we went.
You can reach him, Fritz.
So we went to Eindhoven, and I don't know if you know Eindhoven. If you're like a Band of Brothers watcher
Oh,
on
yeah.
TV, that was the big battle was in Eindhoven and with the 101st, and so we went there, and it turns out to be kind of a
Cool
a
little
university town. So we found this hotel room, and it's literally 10 by 10 with three beds in it,
Yeah.
Wow.
a sink, and three
toilets.
big dudes.
Yeah.
And so we're crammed into this thing. But what was so cool is in this little square, and in the square was the hotel, but then it had like 4 restaurants right in a row. Boom, 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 boom. And
Yeah.
we went there, and we sat outside until it got a little too chilly, but we had a little dinner outside. And we went into this bar. We walked in, and there's probably maybe 10 people in there. This is like 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
We sat down, and we started drinking.
And then a whole bunch of young
Young kids.
women and men came in.
And
right?
we're sitting there drinking triple Carmelites all night long.
And then everybody got
8 or
really
10.
old about 11, 12 o'clock. It was weird.
And then they got
So like all the young people came in and drank and left, and
So
then the
it's kinda
old
the
people came in.
opposite of-
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
yeah,
so
yeah.
strange.
And then by the time we left, the place was packed. I mean,
Yeah.
it was like 1:30. We're done, and
Yeah.
you couldn't even walk out the door because it was so crowded. But
Yeah.
the people there were very, very nice
Yeah, they were very nice.
in Eindhoven. Really a great little town.
What was the food like there?
We actually had a cheeseburger, and it wasn't so great.
I don't remember eating there. I think I had
Remember, we
I
were
think I had
out.
a liquid lunch.
No, we were out. We had some chicken wings.
Oh yeah, they were terrible.
The food wasn't great, but the beer.
Why are we
food.
eating
Awesome.
American food? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
Maybe
you know,
you're really
they
surprised
really-
in some
they really-
places.
I mean, she had
when
a-
we get to the beer garden at Oktoberfest and the kind of music they sing to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyhow, we went to the fun thing is okay. So Dutch is a weird language.
Yes.
I mean, it's doesn't resemble to me. They say it's partly German, but I don't see any similarities at all.
Germans
I mean,
use
it's-
vowels though.
But I mean, you look at these menus, and she had to the waitress. She spoke very good
okay.
English, and she was having to, okay, well, this is this, and this is this, and she couldn't even really explain it that well. She was trying to explain what the food was, but I mean, if I'm in Germany, I can tell what the food is. But man, I had no idea
Well,
what the
that
hell
may
this
be
was
because
on the
you're
menu.
familiar with it. When I looked at the menus in Germany, I was like, "What?" They're not descriptive at all. Things have a name,
Right.
and you just have to know what that is.
Well, it's probably
So-
you probably have 3 different words in that one word.
From all
You know
of
what I
that, you
Right.
couldn't figure out what a cheeseburger and chicken wings were.
I'm telling you.
That's the one they did figure out, I think.
No, actually, she
Actually,
had
I
to-
think that's
she had
why
to
we
tell
ordered
us.
those, because we could figure that out, so we were safe. And so the next morning,
And then they went down the street.
Well,
and they
the
got
funny
some
thing,
chicken
the funny
nuggets
thing
and
about
brought 'em
this
back.
place is the funny thing about this place is we it was on the 3rd freaking floor, and it was the steepest damn stairs. They were
was-
insane, dude. And we're carrying these bags.
It's just kind of like a ladder, really.
It's
more like
really
a leaning
I mean,
ladder.
So when you're going down the stair, when you were going down the stairs,
go
you had
sideways.
to turn your foot sideways,
Really?
to get down them.
They're not drinking stairs, really.
No, not
and we
really.
had all of our luggage, and it was just like
It was
you
miserable.
got to the point where you just kind of kicked your luggage down the stairs and
Just-
followed it.
But
What did we do the next morning? We got up, and then is that when we kind of bumped back?
we went
into
up.
Germany?
We went up to Germany, back into Germany, and went to your
Basel?
hometown or your family's ancestral home,
Right.
and walked around graveyards. And
It was really
and-
interesting because we went to both of our ancestral hometowns, and we were there trying to look for any signs of the family,
Family name
tombstone,
and stuff.
whatever. And it was kind of funny. We ran into this gentleman who spoke tourist English,
Yeah,
which
Tourist,
was
yeah.
perfect.
He goes,
the guy
"I-"
turns out to be like the historian of the town.
yeah. So that was cool.
Told us where to go to cemetery. He goes, but don't try to find anything because Basel was basically completely wiped off the face of the earth during the war because it was on the Rhine. It was a strategic location with bridges going across the Rhine. So anything that was on the Rhine, the cities were completely destroyed,
Yeah. So when you go,
including the cemeteries.
yeah, and what's funny is you go through a cemetery, you might see one that was 1840, 1850, and then it's right next to
A brand new-
2000.
Oh,
You know,
really?
so it's wonder
Recycling graves.
Yeah.
Well, no, yeah. They,
well,
they,
and
they
as a matter
do,
of fact, when we went to my ancestral home, the lady the guy kind of told us that if you don't pay,
The
if your
family-
family doesn't pay, they
it's
pull the headstone up.
it's like an annual rental fee.
Yeah.
If you don't, I don't know how much.
But you're
it is.
still there. I mean,
No, they
pull-
remove you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know where they put the bones or anything.
I don't
Either that
know.
or they just stack them on top. I don't know.
Well, they can only stack so high, and it's ground level. I mean,
So they a lot of the headstones are no longer there because the family stopped paying. So they just rip them out of the ground. And whenever they need the space with somebody who wants to pay, they get rid of.
Man,
they
that
they
seems like it
evict
could really
you.
add up.
They
You're having to
evict
pay
you.
for all of your predecessors' graves. I mean, like $1,400 a month gravestone rent on all of your
But I
family.
don't like
that's
them.
died, you
Well,
know?
the thing is, the people who were buried back then in cemeteries were, the commoner, the kind
Yeah,
of
they actually
worker.
said it's
They
the
were-
poorer
they're-
people.
the poorer people, the people who had
No
had
property.
status and property and money. They had their own private family, cemeteries on their lands.
that makes
So,
sense.
yeah, okay.
So anyway.
So let's charge all those people rent.
That's right.
It's a
You're paying
perfect
double.
system. Like, listen, if we charge them rent, there's no way they're gonna be able to pay it. We'll be able to dig them up, sell that ground again,
That's
You know.
exactly. It's just reusable.
Reusing, yeah.
Well, you got to think
it's
about too. You
recycling.
got to think
They're
about
way ahead
Europe
of us.
too. You got to think about Europe too. They don't have as much space as we do.
Right, yeah.
So is there
Dude,
like a
come
brewery
on.
there or
There's
something? Is that
so
where
much
this is
space.
leading?
What's
No.
that?
Is there like
No,
a
no.
brewery there? That's where this
They're
is
just
leading?
digging up people.
Made with bones.
No, but we
I don't know
just-
about
Sanctuary
space. There's a
Brewing.
lot of space over there. I don't
Yeah.
buy this no space in Europe.
yeah.
We drove all over the country. There's a lot of space.
And man, let me tell you something.
And a lot of corn.
Corn everywhere.
Yeah.
What the hell is the corn for? Because they don't sure as
Ethanol.
shit don't eat it in their food.
Ethanol.
I would have killed for a damn tortilla chip.
ethanol. So the
Or
next
a
morning,
burrito
so,
or
so after
Tortilla.
that, didn't we? We went back into Belgium, or did we go down? to
No,
Cologne?
actually, we went to
No,
we went to Dusseldorf.
Dusseldorf. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we drank some.
So we went to the Dusseldorf, which I think this may be a good. Where are we at, Greg? Are we at about?
43.
Yeah. So maybe we take a quick break, take a pee break. We'll come back. I'm going to set up the Dusseldorf Altbiers and drink them, and talk about Dusseldorf because I think this is a good point
Awesome. That sounds
to
great.
to start. I brought 3 of them back. You and I didn't drink any 3 of these, so.
Oh,
One of them is not from Dusseldorf, but it's a pretty prominent alt beer that you can get in Germany. But last time I had it, I really enjoyed it. So we're going to bust those out and drink them. I think they actually may even import into the United States. So
Cool.
But
Sounds
anyway,
good.
we'll be right back, and we'll get to our second half. We're going to drink some alt beers. All right. Thanks.
So did you find any family history at all? Anything?
No, the thing was, my great grandfather was the mayor of the town too.